All right, folks, we have made it to the March 13th date. What a fantastic Monday full of news, moving quickly. Let's break it all down for you guys. Cryptocurrency, current events, and the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. I am your host, Zach Rector, and as always, it is a pleasure to bring you guys such a crucial update, such an important moment in time here that we're living through. And we are going to be completely prepared, taking action on a daily basis. God willing, we get taken through to the other side, and we're going to take advantage of this opportunity, folks. It's breaking down. The system is breaking down as we are talking here tonight. I still have people in the comments telling me everything's going to be fine. These aren't bank runs. I guess this doesn't meet the technical definition of a quote-unquote bank run, okay? I guess this doesn't meet the technical definition of a recession anymore. So I just want to make sure that everyone's, agreeing on whether or not, this is a bank run, on whether or not it's a recession. Actually, let's let those guys debate back and forth whether we're in a recession or not. Meanwhile, we just continue to grow our businesses. We continue to stack utility cryptocurrencies because we believe that cryptocurrencies is the greatest opportunity in the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. Growing our businesses, growing our utility cryptocurrency bags. We got our precious metals. We got some more cash out of the bank. I didn't know it was a bad thing to go get your money out of the bank and hold it in fiat form. I guess that's immoral to do now, right? We can't talk about bank runs. We can't go get out our cash. Nobody panic. Everything's fine. We're not rolling with that plan, program, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to define it as. It's not stopping us. Like I said, growing our businesses, growing our utility cryptocurrency bags, our precious metals are stacked, cash on the sidelines, boom, cash on the sidelines for real estate, making sure that the cash flow is still coming in on the real estate. Cash flow must cover debt service with any deal, with any opportunity that we are looking at making right now, because we know we are in a liquidity, debt, and currency crisis. Until we address the underlying debt and currency crisis, we're just going to keep on coming back to the same issues that we have here today. It'll be another bank next week. It'll be a continued recession. And if they do pivot, okay, send the assets going back up. We saw Bitcoin back up today. We saw some stocks back up today. The banking stocks, financials still getting kind of hit today, other than some of the big ones. Some of the bigger banks doing all right. We'll talk about that here later. But folks, remember, once again, if they flip, if they pivot, if they start to send it, we have assets. Those are going to go up. But right now, we are keeping dry powder on the sidelines because the fundamentals tell us there's still a lot to clean out from the traditional space. As I've been saying, the crypto space needs to still be cleaned out further. And so until I see that play out, and we're seeing it now in real time, I still have people in the comments telling me that it's incorrect to classify this as a bank run. Okay, that's fine. I see lines around the block to go get money out of banks. Okay, they're not running, they're waiting in line. Okay, people have systems down, the app's not working, we're down for maintenance, another excuse. And meanwhile, crypto's been unbanked through this whole thing. So let's get right on into it, guys. This is an incredible update, an incredible moment in time. I already see a super chat. The throng that never ends with the 20 spot. Us, Ginsler for, I'm not even going to say that. Appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. The super chats are coming in massive already to start it off. Big 20 spot. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you so much for all the support. Smashing the thumbs up, sharing the content far and wide. Without further ado, let's get right on into it, guys. Big time update for you. Okay, Bitcoin up to 24.3, tapped up about 24.5 here earlier today. 1676 for our Ethereum, and XRP's at 37 cents. Let's take a look at the sticks. Massive green candles to the upside on the 4-hour chart here. Qcoin, Bitcoin, 4-hour, 24.5 is what we got to up on Qcoin here. I don't know what your exchange showed, but we got up to 24.5 here on Qcoin. Watching this one. Another bull trap rally. I am calling it here once again, another bull trap rally. If you think that Bitcoin is the solution, good luck, God bless to you. Hey, that's just fine. I just want a level playing field. Now, we have our president coming here and giving us a quick 5-minute press conference here today. Let's check it out here, Joe Biden. And this is what's so interesting. Before I bring this up, this is what's so interesting. They ask him, can you assure Americans that there won't be a ripple effect? What an incredible coincidence that the little startup company out of San Francisco that is developing on the World Reserve digital currency XRP in the middle of an SEC lawsuit is called Ripple. a company that is continuing to grow on-demand liquidity outside of the United States, described like wildfire by a senior software developer at Ripple. Don't take it from me, take it from them. Growing like wildfire outside of the United States. Okay, check, fine. And we see from the data that that is confirmed. 9 times year-over-year growth on-demand liquidity in the middle of a liquidity crisis, and every single person is put in that ripple effect. Are there going to be ripples while the ripple effect's being spread throughout the system? What a strange coincidence. And what does Joe Biden have to say? They ask him, can you assure Americans that there won't be a ripple effect? Do you expect other banks to fail? And we have Biden. That was the end of the press conference, walking away and shutting the door. Okay. Mr. Biden did say last week that the economic plan is going according to plan. Okay. Everything's fine. The Treasury Department, Janet Yellen, tells us it's all good. Now we got the backstop. It's not a bailout. Remember, guys, definitions matter. We don't want to offend anybody. This isn't called the bailout. It's called the backstop. That's the new term for bailout. And we know that they have changed the laws for the bail-ins. I got the FDIC meeting clip coming up because we got to remind everybody of what was being talked about and what's been exposed. Our own FDIC talking about the systemic risk that we're now seeing unfold as we speak. Another super chat from XR Peaky Blinder. Let's get it, Z. And remember, get your game up and don't be a Buffalo head. That's right. We are stacking Buffalo heads. That's a little inside joke in our community. Don't be a Buffalo head. Stack the Buffalo heads. Let's get it going. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the super chats. Massive session getting rolling here to start us off here. We're looking at a bunch of market economic data that's going to be coming out this week. Let's check it out from Zero Hedge. Taking a look here, it's not just failing banks. Here are the week's key events: CPI, PPI, retail sales, and an ECB hike. Okay, so we're taking a look here, folks. You look at this list, data in the week ahead. This is absolutely major. This is starting tomorrow, 3/14, okay? Starting off with the NFIB, small business optimism. After that, the big one that we're all waiting for is consumer price index. We're going to check what inflation is at. Consumer price index, excluding food and energy. Of course, they exclude food and energy. Yeah, we don't need those included in our inflation data. Remember, just this last month, they have established new guidelines, new data, new ways to measure the CPI data. Okay, so once again, the CPI lie is just that, a lie, a tale that they tell us here every month. We get the updated data, the updated story, but you feel the effects when you go to the grocery store, when you go to fill up your tank. And, they're saying that inflation is coming down. Biden says that it's going to be good coming out tomorrow. We're going to have to take a look at this one. MBA mortgage applications. That's going to be big. We're going to see what the mortgage demand is, falling to record lows based off of other metrics, but we'll get a couple more data points on real estate this week. Producer price index coming in, and then Empire Manufacturing. That's a big one, folks. Let's watch that one. And then we're going to get the NAHB Housing Market Index. That's going to be on Wednesday. Let's watch that one closely before we get the initial jobless claims and the housing starts coming in Thursday. Building permits, and we also have the industrial production with the Philadelphia Fed business outlook. Okay, folks, let's watch this one closely. I got a little bit more speculation towards the end of this show on what we're going to see from CPI, what we're going to see on rates, but it's going to just be a massive week here, guys. It's going to be a banger, and we're tuned back in, we're tapped back in, and we're ready to bring it to you guys here every single night, every single day. We're going to be dropping content, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know, because I've been dropping some more quick updates, some more shorter 10, 15 minute long updates. I know you guys don't got as much of an attention span anymore, right? We're on the TikTok time, but I've been dropping some short updates. So make sure you hit that notification bell and catch all of our content. We get this report here. Remember on Friday last week, Biden said he is confident the CPI will be in good shape next week. The CPI comes out at 8:30 Eastern tomorrow, and the White House is given the exact number days before. Okay, so is Joe giving us a little forewarning here of what we're about to see? In my opinion, I'll just tell you right now that I do believe that the CPI is going to be coming down. Inflation is going to be coming slightly down. And even if it's 0.1% down, they're going to be running with those headlines. They're going to be touting that they're, working to bring inflation back down. Now, what's underway? This is actually a truly historic withdrawals made from Silicon Valley Bank. Okay, this one from Geneva Roque Dechter 42 billion was withdrawn Thursday. That's 4.2 billion an hour. The previous largest bank run in modern US history was Washington Mutual Bank in 2008, and it totaled 16.7 billion over 10 days. History is being written, right? 42 billion in one day. And guys, remember, we're not allowed to call that a bank run, okay? Nobody is allowed to call it a bank run. Don't use those words, okay? Makes me laugh. Okay, and now we have Senator Mark Kelly. This is what they're trying to do here. Mario Nafal, been hosting the Twitter Spaces. Huge shout out to Mario. Senator Mark Kelly asked for censorship of social media to prevent bank runs. Is this stopping free speech, or is it necessary to save the market? You guys let me know down below. Should we be allowed to talk about this? Should you be allowed to go pull out your currency, your assets out of the bank? Are you a bad person for doing that? It is unbelievable where we are at with this narrative, and what we have a United States senator asking for censorship to stop social media to prevent bank runs. Maybe there's some underlying issues with the infrastructure of the financial system. If a couple people saying, hey, we're going to withdraw our money from a bank is going to collapse the whole damn system. And let's be real, that's what this is. This collapses the whole damn system unless they bail it out, unless they do a backstop for everybody. And remember, backstop's the new term for bailout. And we're not allowed to call this a bank run. Even though it was the fastest withdrawn in history, we still cannot call this a bank run. Okay, good. You guys let me know down in the chat below, is this stopping free speech, or is it necessary to save the market? We need to save the markets, that's right. Hilarious. Meta Lawman, what do we know for sure about the banking sector? This is not over. First Republic down 60%, Zions Bank down 30%, KeyCorp down 25%, Truist down 18%, and they continue to halt withdrawals. They continue to halt trading on these bank stocks. So now they're stopping folks from even being able to trade these stocks. This is an artificial manipulated market. If you haven't figured it out yet, the Fed and Treasury are unlikely to let any uninsured depositors take losses. Once bailouts begin, it's hard to stop. Fed rate increase may be over. Well, we're going to talk about that here a little bit later. I'm going to give you guys my full speculation on what's going to come out from the Fed. But look at this. This is exactly what we're talking about. This would be the whole damn system having issues. Let's be nice. Let's be nice. Just having some issues. Systems down for maintenance is because of this right here. Patrick Bet David. Look at the FDIC's balance sheet below. The FDIC only has 125 billion, securing 9.9 trillion. That's only 1% of what they're supposed to be covering. FDIC may be able to protect the depositors at Silicon Valley Bank, but it won't be able to if it happens to a few other banks. This is the whole issue. Why the backstop has to be for everyone. And we get a massive 50-spot super chat from Trucker Gonzo. Unbelievable. Massive shout out to you, Zach, and Digital Asset Investor. Being new to crypto and digital assets, these two channels have brought me a comfortable place with my investments. Thank you for the wealth of knowledge, and God bless. Thank you, Trucker Gonzo. I appreciate you. Huge shout out to Digital Asset Investor. He is the whole reason why I got started on XRP back in 2018 when I learned about Bitcoin. And I took a little bit too much of the Bitcoin hopium, and I had to be brought back to reality. And a huge shout out to Digital Asset Investor for doing that, waking me up to XRP. And I'm going to get into it here later. This whole conversation, the ongoing Twitter Spaces, all the back and forth speculation, and no one's talking about Ripple. No one's talking about XRP. The solution to the liquidity, debt, and currency crisis that we're talking about. Nobody's talking about it. Unbelievable. We'll get into it. Super chats, massive. Thank you, Trucker Gonzo. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, we'll continue on here. Guys, this is spreading across overseas, across the pond into Europe. Credit Suisse default swaps have hit a record high, and the company is now trading at a record low. Something to watch closely, reporting from Gold Telegraph. Now, we've already been talking about the issues from Credit Suisse on the verge of going bust multiple times here already, and now we're seeing that the credit default swaps, which is people betting that Credit Suisse is going to fail, go bust here, is at a record high. I think that somebody might know what's going on. Now, what does Jim Cramer have for us? Please read last night's club bulletin about what to do. The banks will be bifurcated here. I think it is a clarion call to buy everything but tech. So there you have it, folks. Buy everything but tech is the signal from Jim Cramer. So if you thought that this rally was for real, if you thought that we had good times ahead, and Jim Cramer did sell did say to sell the Bitcoin rally here today. So maybe that's a good reverse indicator for Bitcoin continuing back up to the upside. The Bitcoin boys would be sure happy with that. But look out, folks. Jim Cramer says that everything is all right. Buy everything but tech. I wonder if that includes crypto. Probably not. Jim Cramer says sell off the Bitcoin run up. And now we have this one here, folks, shared by Ben Rickert. But this was the FDIC meeting that took place back in November of last year. Now, I'm going to play this clip, guys. This is so important. This is what we've been talking about. We are not speculating, right? This is not us putting on a tinfoil hat. This is the FDIC acknowledging the systemic risk within the banking system back in November and talking about how we shouldn't let the public know. Folks, check it out for yourselves. This is what we've been watching. This is what we've been warning about. Let me play this clip here for you guys.
It's really important. I mean, it's a little bit conflicted, right? I mean, it's important that people understand they can be bailed in, but you don't want a huge run on the institution. But they're going to be.
People need to know, but I don't think you have much hope of reaching a public that doesn't have a professional need to know.
I completely agree with that. I almost think you'd scare the public if you put this out. Like, why are they telling me this? Should I be concerned about my bank? Like, my insurance company doesn't tell me what they're doing with my assets. If they just assume they're going to pay my claim, right? I think you've got to think of the unintended consequences of taking a public that has more full faith and confidence in the banking system than maybe people in this room do. So there's a select crowd of people that are in the institutional side. And if they want to understand this, they're going to find a way to understand this. There's a bunch of law firms represented in this room. There's a bunch of people that charge them by the hour a lot of money to explain this all to them. And it's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And they all have huge staffs. But I would be careful about the unintended consequences of starting to blast too much of this out in the general public.
Yep. Don't let the general public know about this. And then we have a United States senator suggesting that we should censor this conversation. We shouldn't be allowed to have this conversation in a country that is founded upon the idea of free speech. Truly incredible. And if they're there, I understand fractional reserve banking, but maybe that's the problem. Maybe the underlying currency, the US dollar, is the problem. Maybe the underlying 30 trillion in debt plus 100 trillion plus of unfunded liabilities, the debt crisis is the problem, okay? So no matter what you want to call it, bank runs, bailouts, now they're backstops. When you listen to the FDIC, the people who are in charge of insuring our bank deposits, talking about the systemic risk in this way, can we have a little bit of concern, right? And I know that a lot of guys are saying everything's fine. They're going to come in. They're going to step in. They're going to stop this. And that's fine. We're positioned accordingly. If we get a full 180 Fed pivot backstop for everyone, the assets will pump, inflation comes in, and that's why we have silver as a hedge against the dollar. That's why we have crypto assets, which are already starting to pump, right? And then we have other assets that will benefit. If we go back to the party, if Jerome Powell fills back up the punch bowl, we are ready to partake in that transfer of wealth, right? Now, the problem that we have right now in the United States is the rest of the world is done with our BS. And I'm about to show you guys $600 billion in unrealized losses for the United States banks. The banks here holding these treasury notes that started the whole run here at Silicon Valley Bank is the unrealized losses, the massive losses that these banks have in holding treasuries. And as we said, over the last year, how's your program working out? We had the worst year in history for the bond market. And gee, go figure. Now it's not just the 401ks that are taking a hit because the treasuries are smacked. These banks, right, were holding record amount of treasuries. It was the safe thing to do. And then when the Fed rug pulled everybody, right, they ran the interest rates way up, fastest pace that they've ever raised rates in history. They've killed everybody. But was this part of the plan is the question one must ask. Now, one could debate that till the sun comes up tomorrow, but at the end of the day, it's up to us to prepare accordingly, right? As I said, focus on bringing up as much cash as possible. Inflation is not going away. Inflation is not going away. Bring in as much cash as possible. I do believe that long-term cryptocurrency is the best opportunity for parking your assets. It's a volatile asset class. And, during the bear market here, it's absolutely taken a beating. But that's why we go with other more conservative, more old world investments like silver. See, that's why I diversify, right? I got new world, old world, physical, digital. You see, that's diversification amongst asset classes, and both are going to be part of the new financial system, though. That's the key part, right? And so, like I said, we've just been trying to break this thing down in a way that the common man or woman who's trying to take care of their family can understand and prepare. Because these guys are going to be doing Twitter spaces till the sun comes up tomorrow, firing up another one, debating, speculating, doing this back and forth. And we just ask, how's the program working out? 60-40 portfolio had its third worst year in history. The 60-40 portfolio is what Wall Street pitches to everyone for your 401k retirement account savings program plan. 60-40 portfolio, third worst year ever. And then the bond market specifically, which is the 60-40 part of that portfolio, 40% is supposed to be bonds, had its worst year ever. And it was all, it was hitting us here on Main Street, right? Now it's hitting the banks. And we've been reporting the central banks posting record losses as well, right? Now you're seeing the small regional banks have massive losses. And then word starts to get out, we might have a problem here. A couple people start to pull their money, and well, it leads to one of the biggest withdrawals in history because this whole bank was banking VC startups, and 90% plus of the deposits were over the 250,000 limit. Perfect recipe for a failed bank after a bank run, right? Now, like I said, no one's stopping us from transacting this silver whenever we want to. We got 10 ounces. We got 1 ounces. It's a real asset, We have funny money cash too. We have cash ready to absolutely. We have food and essentials. Absolutely, right? We're not going to get caught up in any of this situation into a way that's going to be detrimental or fatal to our families. That's what's important, folks. Are the crypto bags getting hit? Is it a little bit painful? Absolutely. Absolutely. But, for us, we have real conviction and, we have 100% faith, and our conviction just continues to grow in these assets. And I continue to believe more now than ever that XRP is the answer to the liquidity, debt, and currency crisis. It's the trifecta, and it gets solved with one asset, XRP. Nobody's talking about it. The Bitcoin bros. Oh, this is great advertising for Bitcoin. How so? You're able to do a manipulated pump. CZ told everybody that they were no longer going to be in Binance USD and they were putting it into Bitcoin and Ethereum. And boom, once again. So CZ pumped us with the Paxos Treasury, basically the proxy arm of CZ Binance. Paxos Treasury pumping, printing Binance USD in January leads to a massive run up to 25K. Boom. Okay, fantastic. We retrace. Now here once again, CZ's telling everybody we're no longer in Binance USD. We're going to actually move the Binance USD and some of our other assets to Bitcoin and Ethereum. And sure enough, we start to go and we get a little bit of a run up. And, these guys, I was in a Bitcoin Twitter space earlier today and I had to leave because it was just like nauseating, man. It was just like, what are we doing here? It was unbelievable. Them suggesting that this is showcasing Bitcoin's success. Unbelievable. I mean, after it's been destroyed, right? From 69K down to 20K. It is resilient, it is running up during the middle of this crisis, but boy, I wish them the best with that program. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. First thing that comes to mind when you see this chart, this one's from Mario Nafal, and so this right here is the unrealized gains, which is the unrealized losses on investment securities, right? Because these are in the red. Right. So right now, these are the unrealized losses approaching almost 700 billion. And this is for your banks. This is for your banks in the United States. Almost just over 600 billion in unrealized losses. Okay. On investment securities. Okay. So this is the main problem. Kobesi letter. After the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, the big banks are about to become even bigger. Objectively, accounts with 250,000 plus at regional banks have outsized risk right now. Private equity VC funds are already moving their deposits. Unless the FDIC backstops all regional banks, big banks win. Yeah. Almost as if it was orchestrated and done all planned, right? Because it's an attack on crypto, but it's also an attack on the regional banks. And then that brings all the money to the big boys and girls, JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs and others, right? This is really flushing out crypto, and this is also flushing out the small regional banks as well. Charles Gasparino shares this scoop with us. A former Silicon Valley Bank exec tells Fox Business that the bank's loan book was so risky it shouldn't have been FDIC insured. Silicon Valley Bank's lending included loans to VC-backed companies with low or no profits and credit lines to P&E funds. More now with Liz Clayman. Okay, so a former exec saying that the FDIC should not have insured those deposits, right? This whole bank had, let's just say, a relaxed lending policy, right? Being a little friendly to the tech startups and some companies that weren't even turning out products. Now, I understand the pain, the frustration. Some of these people that lost their funds, now they're going to get bailed out. Apparently, they're going to have access to their funds. I don't know if they already do or not. I get it, right? But we just continue to bring up this issue here of this FDIC only having 1% of the assets to cover what its real liabilities are. Now, this was just truly hilarious. I don't even know what to make of this necessarily, but Ashish Burla from Ripple comes out today and he says, if you are a fintech that is having trouble opening a bank account, please contact me. I may have some options for you. Now, I've been thinking about this today, about Ripple XRP, and Ashish coming out and saying, I mean, what is this? If you're a fintech that is having, maybe he has some connections at other banks, or I was also thinking about Ripple's liquidity hub, right? And the fact how they're setting up to become like the Bank of International Settlements, right? With their on-demand liquidity, the bank, the central bank of central banks, able to do settlement on any asset, any commodity, any currency. They can facilitate it, and they can also facilitate any cryptocurrency now with the liquidity hub as well. And with the existing banking partners, I'm sure that they've established some solid on-ramps and off-ramps out of fiat using market makers. We now know that they had 1,700 contracts to disperse XRP as cited in the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit documents that we just got. We know that they had over 1,700 contracts. Some were pre-allocation, some were deals, just basically various deals, 1,700 with market makers and others to disperse XRP, right? So they've been building up the liquidity, right? And now they're going to have liquidity hubs set up in a way that's going to allow any traditional bank, financial institution, company, enterprise to actually use digital assets, not just XRP, but you'll be able to access all digital assets through Ripple's liquidity hub. So they're really setting themselves up to be that central bank of central banks. I would compare them to the IMF. I would compare them to BIS. I would compare them to the IMF because they have a world bridge currency. Now, is it XRP ever going to be technically called the ESDR? Yes, no, maybe so. We could debate that till the sun comes up tomorrow. For all intents and purposes, I'm telling you guys right now, as Ripple's telling us, I'm just taking this from Ripple. They said they're going to make a world reserve currency that is liquid as a G10 currency. A world reserve currency that's as liquid as a G10 currency. And it's a bridge currency, right? A neutral bridge currency. So it has more ability than any other currency that we're going to be talking about here today. I'm about to show you a point here from SWIFT and about how the US dollar being used in SWIFT transactions is going down. Now we look at the other currencies, but then we look at XRP where you remove the trust. You remove whether or not another country is a friend of yours or not, you can transact with them. And then through Ripple, we have a new institution, right, that is setting up a hub to use all digital assets and then building out liquidity through their on-demand liquidity product. I got more for you guys coming. Like I titled this episode, All Roads Lead Back to Ripple. Just wait, folks. Just wait. Before we get into that, we have to talk about Bitcoin here real quick. I was listening to this guy in the space, Jason Lowry, I guess. He used to be in the military, MIT, and he has a book that he was talking about in the Twitter space. And he says, U.S. administration insider Jason Lowry, quote, soon powerful people within the U.S. government will try to assert that supporting Bitcoin is a threat to U.S. national security. That supporting Bitcoin is a threat to U.S. national security. Now, we also had Chris Larson say that, right, from Ripple. We've been talking about this in our community forever, about how Bitcoin is not the move because we understand that the government wants to shut it down. They want to shut down proof of work. They don't like what Bitcoin is, right? But at the same time, Bitcoin just doesn't have utility for me. It's not an investment play either. I'm not here to give you financial advice, but I'm just not going to park money in it. It's not that I want Bitcoin to lose. I don't like the investment, the investment opportunity here. Doesn't make sense to me. What am I trying to get? A 2 or 3x if we get a massive inflationary pump? I'm good. There's nothing to do with my Bitcoin either. No utility. And then we've been talking about this, how the United States government mentioned that they went and met, the Department of Homeland Security went and met with 4 people that they consider Satoshi, that they called Satoshi. We went and met with them, and it wasn't just one person, it was actually 4 individuals in San Francisco. So our government knows who created Bitcoin, right? But then we also know that they're coming after it. Operation Choke Point is live. And as we're now, figuring out and looking deeper into what just occurred over the last weekend, they absolutely just cut off and killed crypto's on-ramps and off-ramps here in the United States. They absolutely just cut it off at the head. They absolutely just took it out, okay? And then now this guy here, he's suggesting, he used to be in the government, used to be in the military, that the United States government is now about to come out and say that supporting Bitcoin is a threat to U.S. national security. Now, I would argue that not taking a serious look at XRP would be a threat to national security as well. As I've been saying, I don't want a Fed buyback. As an American, I just want to see my Treasury Department at the United States government acquire some XRP, please. Right? Just go pick up a few billion, please. I think it might suit us well. And golly, please, I hope that we have the gold. Rosie Rios said that we have the gold. We'll see if we do. She goes and joins the board of directors at Ripple. We'll be talking about that here in just a second. But let's talk about the crypto market's resiliency has been respectable. Absolutely. We have the collapse of FTX, one of the largest frauds in history. We get the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, the second largest bank failure in the U.S. history, and multiple other banks basically killing off crypto's access, on-ramps, off-ramps to banking. A bear market that erased nearly $2 trillion in value. Genesis crypto lending business bankruptcy. I think we have more to follow too, by the way. First ever USDC depeg with Circle's $3.3 billion exposure to Silicon Valley Bank. Yet the total crypto market cap just crossed back above $1 trillion. Crypto markets are incredibly resilient. We'll see if it lasts. I don't think it will. I don't think that this will. I wish I could say that. You guys know me. I wish I could be doing O-face clickbait rocket emojis saying that this is it. But I'm just going to keep it real with you guys on the fundamental analysis that we're putting in right now. But this is what I'm talking about right here, folks. The US dollar is still the king, but not the emperor of currencies. Its share of global trade payments through SWIFT is 45%. Impressive, but not a monopoly. When that number drops to 30%, the share of the pie will be something like USD 30, Euro 30, Yuan 20%, and others 20%. That will herald the democratization of global finance in a multipolar world. The internationalization of yuan in trade, along with ruble and perhaps a BRICS currency, will be revolutionary. It will change geopolitics as we know it. Yeah, just wait till you understand and hear about this little XRP World Reserve digital currency that's now as liquid as a G10 currency that has a limited supply of 100 billion tokens. Just wait. Just wait till you figure out that it's ready to be a neutral reserve currency that settles in 3 to 5 seconds at nearly no cost. Just wait. Now, to reiterate that point, John Deaton, as each day passes, Judge Torres' decision in the Ripple case becomes more significant. If she wholeheartedly adopts the SEC's theory that all transactions of XRP, including XRP traded in the secondary market, are securities, it will provide Gensler both cover and momentum. We should be getting it this month. We are waiting. And this is coming from Eleanor Terrett saying this. The Signature Bank board member Barney Frank says the bank closure was political. Quote, I think part of what happened was that regulators wanted to send a very strong anti-crypto message. We became the poster boy because there was no insolvency based on the fundamentals. This is why they shut down Signature Bank as well. So with Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, both taken over by the FDIC, Barney Frank, who was in charge of the part of the last crisis, absolutely, says this was a very strong anti-crypto message. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense with what we're looking at. And as John Deaton says, as each day passes, this decision becomes more important. And nobody's talking about it. in the mainstream media, on the Bitcoin Twitter spaces, on the, on Mario's Twitter space with 20,000 people listening. The space is absolutely lit, but no one's talking about XRP and Ripple being in a lawsuit about to defeat the SEC and get clarity for XRP. I'm about to get into it here in a second, guys. This is absolutely massive. Let's take a sip of our adult beverage because, folks, you couldn't make up a better timeline. What I'm about to show you guys is absolutely massive. When I tell you guys all roads lead to Ripple, it is not clickbait. I am never on the clickbait BS. If I put it in that title, if we put it in the thumbnail, we are talking about it, we are addressing it, and I'm explaining why it's in my dang thumbnail. Because I'm not here to clickbait you. I'm not here to BS you. I don't need the likes. I appreciate the thumbs up. Thank you for smashing that thumbs up. I appreciate that. I'm not here for clicks and views and clickbaiting. I'm not on that BS. Let's take a sip of our adult beverage and let's get into the fun stuff, folks. All roads truly do lead to Ripple. This is absolutely massive. Now, I first came across this one. Huge shout out to Headline Hunter US on Twitter. Breaking, the Federal Reserve appoints Fed Vice Chair and former Ripple advisor Michael S. Barr to lead a review of the oversight of the Silicon Valley Bank. Here we go, folks. Are you ready? You cannot make up a better timeline. Here we go. Former Ripple advisor, Federal Reserve Board here, announces that Vice Chair for Supervision Michael S. Barr is leading a review of the supervision and regulation of the Silicon Valley Bank in light of its failures. The Federal Reserve Board on Monday announced that Vice Chair for Supervision Michael S. Barr is leading a review of the supervision and regulation of Silicon Valley Bank in light of its failure. The review will be publicly released by May 1st. The events surrounding Silicon Valley Bank demand a thorough, transparent, and swift review by the Federal Reserve, said Chair Jerome Powell. We need to have humility and conduct a careful and thorough review of how we supervised and regulated this firm and what we should learn from this experience, said Vice Chair Barr. Okay, there you have it, folks. And we go to Ripple's website. Former Treasury official Michael S. Barr joins Ripple Labs. Team Ripple put this out July 29th, 2015. Now, before I get into that, just think about this. Right, the guy who's now heading up the review of this, he's the head of supervision at the Federal Reserve, former Ripple Board of Advisors, okay? All the way back in 2015, he was in the organization of Ripple, all the way back in 2015. So it just always blows me away when you go back and you look at some of these guys who were at Ripple early on, and now have left, now have moved on, now they're back to the Federal Reserve, right? Or as I'm about to show you, Rosie Rios leaving the Treasury, joining the board of directors at Ripple. It's just this back and forth, right? But how early this happened. 2015 is when Michael Barr was inside the organization of Ripple. 2016 was when Bank of America started working with Ripple, right? 2018 was when Bank of England started working with Ripple, right? So this goes back so far, but let's just look at this right here, put out by Ripple in 2015. Ripple Labs is pleased to announce that Michael S. Barr, a former U.S. Department of the Treasury official, has joined the advisory board. Barr, I'm not going to read his economic, and that's all good. That's all very good. Okay. He says this, I'm excited to be joining the advisory board of Ripple Labs, said Barr. Our global payment system is badly outdated. I think innovation in payments can help make the financial system safer, reduce cost, and improve access and efficiency for consumers and businesses alike. Isn't that interesting? The financial system can become safer, reduce cost, and improve access and efficiency for consumers and businesses alike. And now this is the guy that's overlooking the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. Prior to joining the Ripple Labs advisory board, Barr served the U.S. Department of Treasury as special advisor to President Clinton and as the U.S. Department of Treasury Assistant Secretary for Financial Institutions under President Obama. So he was part of both the Clinton and Obama administrations. And oh wait, there's more. As a key architect of the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act of 2010, Barr made significant changes to U.S. financial regulations to protect American taxpayers. Folks, he literally helped write the reforms from the last crisis. makes a quick pit stop at Ripple for an advisor position before heading back on over to the Federal Reserve to overlook fixing the current crisis. As a company applying a new technology in an age-old, heavily regulated industry, Ripple Labs greatly benefits from the prodigious policy expertise of advisors like Barr. I am excited to welcome Michael to the Ripple Lab teams, said Ripple Lab CEO and co-founder Chris Larson. He has spent his entire career in pursuit of a more equitable and efficient financial system within government, as an academic, and with many of today's leading financial innovators. We will lean on his insights and expertise as we continue to build Ripple into a critical piece of the world's financial technology infrastructure. So, right there you have it, but we're not done. You guys never will forget this one. 43rd Treasurer of the United States, appointed by Ripple to the board of directors. This isn't just an advisor position like Michael Barr, right? This is the actual board of directors, along with Christina Campbell as the CFO. This was in 2021. Today, Ripple is excited to announce 2 new appointments to its leadership team. Rosie I'm not going to try to pronounce that middle name right there. Rios, the 43rd Treasurer of the United States, joins the Ripple Board of Directors, and Christina Campbell joins as Chief Financial Officer. Now, remember, yesterday I put out the video and I put out the 100 XRP bounty. If anybody can find me the video, last year, May of 2022, Christina Campbell, CFO of Ripple, she went and did a fireside chat with Silicon Valley Bank. The video has since been taken down. I put it out there for Twitter and all the Twitter sleuths. And if anybody can find this, I got a 100 XRP bounty will be paid to you. And so please, if anybody, I would love to listen to that conversation. The CFO of Ripple sitting down with Silicon Valley Bank last year in May of 2022. And now, by the way, we do know that Ripple did have exposure to Silicon Valley Bank, and an undisclosed amount was held there, but it was not the majority of Ripple's cash. The majority of Ripple's cash is in other banks, in other institutions, and Brad reaffirmed for us that day-to-day operations and business will be just fine. There is no problems at all at Ripple. And now that we know that Silicon Valley Bank is going to be bailed out, or at least the backstop, Ripple will be able to take advantage of that. They should be good to go. But Ripple is diversified with their cash holdings, not completely exposed within Silicon Valley Bank. Okay, but if anybody can find me that clip here of Christina Campbell, Chief Financial Officer last year, Silicon Valley Bank, May 2022, I got 100 XRP for you. Okay, quote, "These 2 exceptional leaders join Ripple at a pivotal time for the company," said Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple. "Rosie's experience in the public and private sectors provide an invaluable perspective to Ripple, especially during this time as industry works to define crypto's future. As well, adding Christina's extensive knowledge and success building teams and processes at rapidly accelerating businesses was a no-brainer. We are extremely fortunate to have them on the team as we continue to our rapid international growth and to champion for regulatory clarity in the United States. Rios brings 30 years of unparalleled experience and expertise in public policy and investment management to Ripple. Her career has focused on economic development, urban revitalization, and real estate finance. As the 43rd Treasurer of the United States, she oversaw all currency and coin production activities with almost 4,000 employees and an annual budget of $5 billion. She also initiated the efforts to place a portrait of a woman on U.S. currency and received the Hamilton Award, the U.S. Treasury's highest honor. Quote, "I've dedicated my career to financial inclusion and empowerment, which requires bringing new and innovative solutions to staid processes. Ripple is one of the best examples of how to use cryptocurrency in a substantive and legitimate role to facilitate payments globally," said Rios. "Blockchain and crypto will underpin our future global financial systems. Cryptocurrency is the what. Ripple is the how." How about that? How about that for a statement from your 43rd Treasurer of the United States as she joins this little tech startup out of San Francisco, playing little games out there in San Francisco with a little digital currency that might be a world reserve digital currency, that might now be as liquid as a G10 currency, and might be ready to solve a debt, currency, and liquidity crisis. Campbell will drive Ripple's financial strategy, accelerate growth, and deliver value to shareholders as business momentum continues to grow globally. Her strategic vision, combined with a focus on building fantastic teams and operational excellence, has resulted in significant successes for the businesses she's worked with throughout her career. Previously, she was CFO at PayNearMe, where both the business and team grew substantially under her leadership. Prior to Ripple, she held several roles at Green Dot, a now $2.5 billion public fintech company, including GM of Go Bank. Quote, Cryptocurrency and blockchain technology allow us to rethink and improve the systems and infrastructure around how money moves. With this technology, we will make the global financial system accessible to all, said Campbell. Ripple is uniquely positioned to improve global payments in ways that have yet to be defined, and I'm excited to be a part of that solution. Now, folks, it's just very clear to me. Ripple right here is on the brink of getting clarity for XRP. Is the case going to continue on? Quite possible that the lawsuit does continue on, but I think that the judge is going to have to specifically point out particular investment contracts or deals that Ripple did, particular sales of XRP that could carry on in the case. But as far as secondary sales of XRP, I don't understand how there's any way where we don't get clarity from this hearing. There is no way to suggest that there is any sort of investment contract entailing a security in the secondary sales of XRP. We have 1,700 investment contracts, pre-allocation deals, contracts to disperse XRP that they are citing in the expert testimony from Ripple. 1,700 contracts that the judge can take a look at, and maybe she can find a few hundred of them, maybe she can find a few of them that she can point to and say, these types of deals need to continue on. These types of sales, I do believe, constitute a security, but secondary sales do not. And so understand, right, with everything going on, we are about to get clarity in the secondary market, most likely here within the next month or two, in my opinion, because we're going to get that summary judgment ruling. And I just do not see how the judge is able to take the secondary sales continuing on in the case. How she can make that case while everyone's watching it so closely. And as the days go on, and as this crisis gets worse, and as I start to show up in more of these Twitter spaces, yelling, at the top of the mountain here, look at XRP, look at Ripple, look at this lawsuit that they're in with the SEC. Upon victory, we have partners like Bank of America that are telling us they're ready to use XRP for a competitive advantage after the lawsuit. I got a couple notes. Here's my predictions for you guys. I think that CPI is going to be coming down, right? They've already changed how they calculate and measure CPI. So tomorrow, I think inflation does come down. Now, this is just my predictions. This is just my speculation. Just like with the secondary market sales that I was just ranting about. That's just my speculation, okay? If we're in this case for another year, we're in this case for another year, and I'll just double up my XRP bags once again. That'll be fine. I believe that CPI is going to come down because they've manipulated how they track it. I believe that this thing's tightened up a little bit, our economy. And so I believe that CPI is going to come down. I don't think it's going to be much, but they're going to be able to run with it. The headlines will start to spread. CPI is down. The algorithms, the bots will all be buying up and sending it back up. I firmly believe that no matter what comes out of the CPI tomorrow, I really think that the Fed is going to stick to a 25 basis point hike. And I believe that's the 21st is the next FOMC meeting where they're going to be announcing the next interest rate hike or pausing of hiking the rates further. But I really do believe that they're going to stick to a 25 basis points because the Fed wants to not look weak, and they don't want to look like they weren't prepared or they didn't see this coming. See, if the Fed does anything different from what we're already expecting and what they've already kind of told us they're going to do, then it looks like they're responding to this crisis that they didn't see coming. Versus them being able to come out and say, well, if tomorrow's CPI print comes down a little bit, then they get to say, okay, we're doing our job. We're bringing inflation back down. But then they get to come in to that meeting and still look hawkish and still look strong. It's a position of strength for the Federal Reserve. If they're able to then raise interest rates, another 25 basis points to say, yeah, we're still sticking to this model, right? We're still in line with what we're at with our forward guidance that we're trying to give the market versus if they do anything different, if they if they raise interest rates by 50 basis points, I don't think that they'll do that. That looks like they're responding to the crisis. That's position of weakness. And, if they do, it's going to really hit the markets hard. But if they stick to 25 basis points, that's what everybody's expecting. It looks like they're in a position of strength. Like, yeah, we saw this coming. Yes, there are some issues. We covered it. We got a new, backdrop. It's not a bailout, guys. Don't call it a bailout. It's a backdrop. Everything's fine. We saw this coming. And yes, we are bringing inflation down. We want to get it back down to our target of 2%. Jerome's going to do his little dance, and then he gets to look strong. He gets to look like they got this thing under control and look hawkish still by raising another 25 basis points. I don't think that they pause rates. that would be a position of weakness. That would be responsive. And I don't think that the Jerome Powell wants to do that. I think that they like being able to say, we saw this coming. This is where we're at. And just once again, they changed how they measure the CPI. So it would make sense if we did see that CPI come in a little bit lower. But remember, they changed how they measured CPI, just like how we've changed how we define a recession. It used to be 2 quarters of negative GDP growth was the technical definition of a recession. Everyone's taught that in Economics 101. And now last year, we changed that definition because it offended people or whatever the reason is. And now with the same thing here with the CPI lie, they've changed how we've calculated the CPI. And so I won't be shocked to see that CPI come in down a little bit lower tomorrow. Okay, so we're gonna have to continue to watch that one. My prediction is 25 basis points, which is what the market was expecting. And now the speculation's running rampant. And I think that people are trying to front run the Fed pivot. This backstop that they have created is a major, major form of pivot, right? But if it only has to be done or used on these couple banks, then it looks like they came in, they saved the day, crisis is averted. If this continues to spread, which I do think it will, because once again, anybody can go look at the data that I'm looking at, that the FDIC only has 1% of the assets that they're supposed to have to cover their responsibilities and liabilities. The FDIC, right, covering up to $250,000 in your bank account, they only have 1% of the assets that they're supposed to have compared to the liabilities, responsibilities. So anybody can take a look at that math. Anybody can take a look at that situation, and you can define it or call it whatever you want, whatever makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. I don't want to offend anybody by calling it a recession. I don't want to make people upset by calling it a bank run. I'm sorry if you're mad that I pulled out some cash this weekend. I'm sorry if you're, upset that we bought more silver, right? But we're not waiting around. We're not sitting around, right? And we're gonna let these guys, we can. No matter what they do, the question becomes, what are you going to do today? And so I broke this down. I made this very simple for everyone to understand. Here's the to-do list. I'm not here to give you financial advice, but for me, this is the list. This is the way that I'm evaluating, looking at all deals and opportunities, making investments and moves right now. Cash flow must cover debt service. If you're taking out debt, if you're financing any sort of deal, cash flow must cover debt service, okay? And we are running with conservative predictions, conservative numbers. When we're looking at a business that we're going to buy, when we're looking at a real estate investment we're going to make, we're running with conservative numbers because we do think that we're in tough times, okay? After that, right now we're getting cash, we're getting silver in hand. Now, if you want to roll over your 401k retirement account and you got a little bit bigger bag, you got the retirement savings account, you see the link on down below in the description of all my videos for the precious metals. Go to that link, fill out the form. My people will get in touch with you and they'll help you roll over your 401k retirement account. If you're looking to get some precious metals delivered directly to you, we can help facilitate that as well. Okay, head on over to my website, shoot me a message and say, hey, Zach, I want some silver, I want some gold, I want some precious metals delivered directly to my doorstep, and we will get that done for you guys, okay? The other thing that I am doing right now has been food essentials, baby diapers, baby wipes, just in case a rainy day comes along. You don't know what's going to hit. And it doesn't have to be the end of the world. It doesn't have to be bank runs. It could be losing your job. It could be getting injured. You don't know what's going to come across your life. This is why we ran up a 2.5-hour session just a week and a half ago, or just over a week ago, I should say. In our Discord group, we ran up a 2-hour-long session talking about the prepping, conversation, which I understand has this whole connotation of being whack jobs, that are, guys in the bunkers. That's not what this is about at all. This is financial prepping. See, a lot of what we're doing is financial prepping and financial moves. Like I said, this is mostly what I focus on with you guys, because we can debate till the sun comes up tomorrow, the conspiracy theories, the politics. Are you offended by this? Are you offended by that? How are you feeling right now? Well, we just continue to ask, how's the program working out and what are we going to do about it? What can we do on a daily basis? What strategy should we be executing on or considering right now? I'm not here to give you financial advice. I just show you guys when I'm making money, shorting Bitcoin, we're going to, take our money out right now. I'm not trading right now, right? But if I see an opportunity, if I trust the exchanges once again, I might get back in. Right now, I'm out. I'm not trading. I'm staying safe. I'm staying liquid. I wish I could tell you guys that I shorted the bank stocks today or that the trading halted, so that wouldn't have worked, right? And then with these exchanges, you're dancing with the devil because once again, You might be able to take your chips off the table, but are you going to be able to take those chips to the casino, get your cash, and then will you be able to leave the casino? That's the game we're playing right now, folks. And with the crypto on-ramps and off-ramps getting taken out with the Operation Choke Point going live, I'm staying safe. I'm staying liquid cash on the sidelines. Cryptocurrency off of exchanges in my cold storage wallets, precious metals, food and essentials. And then I'm looking at real estate deals right now. I told you guys I want to buy a place for my family this year, and I'm going to keep you guys updated on that journey, on that process, and reminding you guys that I am staying very patient. I am not jumping on any deal, not going to FOMO, not going to run into any bad deal right now, and we are going to remain patient. Because real estate, that's a whole other session. I'm not going to talk about real estate in depth here tonight, but we'll do another session on real estate here soon for you guys, okay? Now, just ran up another important weekly call Saturday in the Discord group. And the Discord group is funny. We're so calm. We're so, collected here as we have our little weekly session, as we talk about what's going on in the Discord group. It's like we've all been preparing for this moment, right? And I've almost felt a little bit of excitement. It's kind of like, okay, fine, yes, finally we're getting this show on the road. Pull the Band-Aid off. Like I said, with this bailout, with this backstop that they're calling it, basically you're putting a different type of bandage on the wound, but eventually we're going to bleed out. That's the U.S. dollar. That's the financial system. That's the SWIFT system. That's the dollar as the reserve currency status. It's bleeding out, but we're just slapping on a new Band-Aid. And now it's not a bailout. Now it's a backstop. It's just a different form of Band-Aid. The underlying debt currency crisis is not being addressed, not being fixed. We're going to come right back to where we're at. Now, with that being said, make sure you guys have followed us on over at Twitter. I've been hosting some Twitter spaces. I've been engaged in some Twitter spaces. Been having a lot of fun over there in the Twitter spaces. They've been really lit. Excuse me. So make sure you're following me over at Twitter. With that being said, guys, I want to take some Q&A. Let's take some questions. I'll hang out with you guys for just a second here. Like I said, the link for precious metals is down below if you're looking to roll over your 401k retirement account, savings account. But we can get the metal shipped directly to you so you can hold them in physical form too. Okay. And then with that being said, we would love to have you in the investment community, our family over there in the Discord group. Just head on over, sign up for Patreon, get access to the Discord group, okay? Okay, guys, let's run it up. Q&A. Let's have a little bit of fun. Are you a certified financial advisor? No, I'm not a certified financial advisor, but we're making money, we're making moves, and we're just having incredible success. And I don't see any, God willing, we're going to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. It's just amazing what we've been able to build and where we're going. The momentum is so strong. No, not a certified financial advisor, but the program's working out. They said you gave up on XRP. Come on. You know me. This is the best advertising for XRP is what's taking place right now. It's just nobody's talking about it, which has been the case for the last years. Is the Bitcoin community, the overall crypto community, is not really focused on XRP. Some people just downright hate XRP, but we need XRP right now. More than we need Bitcoin, more than we need any other crypto, we need a currency that can actually be a reserve currency. We need a currency that's actually liquid, right? And something with a limited supply, 100 billion. Which, once again, it's so funny because I get someone in my comments today. I'm reading through my comments. Someone said, they commented on my video where I was talking about David Schwartz saying that XRP could go to $100, $120. I wasn't saying that XRP could go to $120, even though I'll tell you that right now that I do believe XRP could go to 3 digits, absolutely. But I had someone in the comments of that video where I'm talking about what David Schwartz said, say that XRP will never go to those prices because the market cap is at 100 billion. Which the sentence wasn't even complete. It didn't even make sense. But I know what they're talking about. The circulating supply or the supply is 100 billion, but that's not true. There will never be 100 billion tokens in circulation or in existence because they've already been destroyed by the over 10 million XRP have already been destroyed. So, I understand 10 million is not much of 100 billion, but I think that people just don't understand how few XRP is actually out there and how big of markets, how big of a market is addressable for Ripple XRP. And it's not just Ripple's businesses. It's everybody else being able to use XRP after this lawsuit's over. Think about this. Everybody's complaining, oh, just build. You guys are spending too much time in riddles with XRP. Just build. That's great. I love that. Shout out to the riddlers. I like having fun with them. Riddles are fun. But I get it. I would love to just build. I would love to start building on the XRP ledger right now. In fact, I would already be working on an NFT project on the XRP ledger right now if I wasn't worried about the SEC showing up at my door. That's the problem with living in the United States. We can't just build. You got to cough up $100 million if you're a company like Ripple. I would love to just build. Now, I'm a doofus moron when it comes to tech, so I'd be hiring one of you smart folks to be my developer, but I would love to. I would love to. Been talking about it with my team. Can't wait to launch our first NFT project. I know you guys are going to love it. It's going to be massive. Absolutely. And it's going to have real value, real utility. It's going to be a lot of fun. But until we have clarity, I'm not just building on the XRP ledger. I wish I could. But that's the point, is once we get out of this lawsuit, it's not just me. I'm going to make some little project on the XRP ledger. It'll be really cute, right? It'll be my own version of Pudgy Penguins or something, right? It'll be fun like that. No, I joke. But when you get institutions coming in and building on the XRP ledger and settling on the XRP ledger, this is where we move to a place where these market cap bros are just not even going to know what to do with themselves. What is the new definition of recession? Good question, Jason. I don't know. Red fold. Yeah, Shane, that's true. We're going to do the red folder NFTs on the way, baby. Let's get it. Red folder NFTs. We haven't had a red folder session in a while. We should break out the red folder, shouldn't we? It's time for another red folder session. That's too much fun, man. God bless you all. Red folder's never going away. They wish it would. In fact, I got to add some more. I got some more documents I got to print out and add to the red folder. I've heard rumors that Swift is already tied to the XRP ledger. They're just waiting for the right time to bring it online. Well, see, Swift is a currency agnostic platform, right? Like I just showed you guys how the US dollar is doing like 45, almost 50% of the volume on Swift. But that's coming down, and now you're starting to see other currencies like the euro, the yuan are being used more. And the interesting thing is that XRP could just be added to that mix. In fact, I think that that's kind of going to kind of be the plan, is that XRP just gets added to that mix of currencies. Oh, and I almost forgot to show you guys this one. I had one more thing to show you guys, one more data point. This is absolutely massive. And here's the thing, guys, is this what's happening right now is the perfect setup for precious metals. This is the best example of why we need to have some precious metals. I like to have some in-house, in-vault, on-hand ability to trade. You know, that's why I got the 1 ounces. 10 ounces are more of a store of value, and it's all a hedge against inflation, but it's all also offline assets that we can use when the systems are down. We don't have to worry about our banking app to be working to go transact with some silver. But this is absolutely massive. Michael from the Silver Squeeze right here on Twitter. As of just 2 p.m., the estimated sales of silver and gold at the APMEX are now totaling the highest day I've ever recorded for both metals, and there are still 10 hours remaining. So with 10 hours left to go, we reached the total highest day trading ever, or estimated sales. The highest day ever recorded for both metals with 10 hours left to go. I have no idea how it finished up. Maybe we'll go to Michael's page. We'll take a look here. Let's take a couple look at some of his tweets. Tracked silver inventory for sale at the APMEX drops below 1 million ounces for the first time since November. Hashtag silver squeeze. Tracked gold inventory for sale at drops below 14,000 ounces for first time since September. So that vault, those vaults in the inventory, they're dropping rapidly. Okay. We'll have to go check with Michael on the data on that tomorrow, but you'll absolutely love to see it now. For me, like I said, I grabbed some cash over the weekend and I dumped all of my tether into XRP and I got it the hell off the exchanges. My next move is more silver. Okay? So you guys head on over to my website, send me a message if you need to get some silver, and we'll help get it done for you guys. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, Mike, like you said, I'm amazed at the amount of people in crypto that don't understand what XRP and XLM are doing. Mike, it is just incredible, right? I can't imagine not addressing XRP and Ripple in a conversation where you're talking about everything that's taking place here today. You're having a space, you're talking about everything that's going on. We're not going to talk about the company that is addressing the liquidity crisis, and they've created a world reserve digital currency that's as liquid as a G10 currency. I mean, it's just so simple. And they're about to defeat the SEC. And the amount of people that were at Ripple's organization previously and that now are currently at Ripple's organization are the people that restructured from the last crisis. We have people from every single administration, the last like 4 or 5 administrations. We have people who were part of those administrations at Ripple, right? We were in the White House. We were meeting with Jay Clayton. We were meeting with every single 3-letter agency that could potentially regulate us. We settled up with FinCEN in 2015, got clarity that XRP was a virtual currency. And now we have Ripple tied up in this thing. And I'm just telling you guys, to me, there's no possible way for the judge to rule that all sales of XRP constitute a security. There's just no way. And so I truly believe that at summary judgment ruling here, which we're supposed to be getting in the next month or so, we're supposed to be getting it this month in March, at any time now. This might have delayed the activity, but this might also be a good cover to announce, some sort of settlement, some sort of loss for the SEC. Although, once again, if they do get a settlement, that's going to be touted as a victory, which is how I think this ends. I do think that Gary's going to be able to walk away with this with the settlement victory, and it's all good. I really don't think that they want to go to trial with this. But even if we do see the judge's ruling, I really do believe that we're going to get clarity on the secondary market, and we're absolutely going to be ready to send this thing because you're going to start to see XRP relisted. You're going to have businesses in enterprises, institutions that are going to have clarity that if they're using XRP and not putting it in investment contracts that make up a security, they're going to be good to go. See, me and you can make a security out of our XRP as well. We just tie up our XRP in an investment contract that has expectations of profit, common enterprise, meets the Howey prong test, and we sell off that XRP. We can create a security, just like Ripple may or may not have. They had over 1,700 contracts to disperse XRP. Some might be a security offering, some might not be. I believe that we're about to get clarity on secondary market sales. And it would have to be one of the biggest manipulation events. We would have to see I'm not ruling this out completely. There is a possibility that we don't go if we're in the middle of the world as we know it ending. Literally, I mean, the whole system would have to be going down for us not to be moving on that news. On that news, we would be rolling, barring systems going down. That's the only way to really stop that move, would have to be systems going down. Right? If they tied up liquidity, if there was no liquidity, if exchanges went down, then yeah, they could potentially stop that. But I mean, just imagine in the middle of everything that's going on, XRP getting clarity before everybody else. Exactly, William. Yeah, they're talking about these spaces for every day for 12 hours and they don't mention Ripple or XRP once. Plenty of talk about Bitcoin, no mention of XRP. No, I'm not ignoring the question. No, I'm not ignoring that question, El Pavan, about... restate your question. Restate it. I don't run from questions, okay? Sometimes I don't respond to FUD, nonsense, confusion, and, just trolls in the comments, but I don't run from any legitimate questions. Something about 200-something million. Why did Brad pay the SEC 270 million for? Well, where's the proof that Brad paid the SEC 275 million? Where's the proof of that? People see transactions on the XRP ledger, 200 million XRP moves. There's been 900 million XRP that have moved within the last 24, 48 hours. You don't know where that went. You don't know where that's... I mean, we can track some of it, right? But I don't know if that's what you're saying. There's absolutely no proof that Brad paid the SEC 275 million. And I mean, if he did, then that means that the settlement, that's probably the settlement, and send it. The train has left the station. Whose yacht are we throwing the party on? How much silver is good to have on hand? I mean, it all depends on your personal situation, how much cash, how much silver, how much food. That's like asking, how much food should I have on hand? Well, how big of a family do you have, and how big of a crisis do you want? Can't find the video. The vid seems fake. That's what I'm saying, man. There's a lot of crazy stuff. Crypto McDizzle for shizzle. I see you. Couple bucks there. Thank you on the super chat. Thank you. This is what always cracks me up about people that have some sort of XRP FUD or this or that is bad. In almost every instance, I'm like, well, if you actually understand what this is fantastic. Let's see. Jay sent me a video on Discord. Oh, yeah. Jay, that's the link, but you can't, that's not the video. See, yeah, I've found that website. Yeah. Crypto McDizzle Fo Shizzle, another 5-spot super chat. I appreciate you, my friend. What's 200 million to a blockchain designed to hold quadrillions, even if it was a settlement? Exactly. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking. You guys are always talking about the craziest stuff, man. Cracks me up on TikTok. The TikTokers. God bless them. Appreciate you guys. Oh my God. See, this is what I love too about the trolls. Yes, you can be over leveraged, but Zach stopped trading because his shorts got wrecked. Most bears are losing their minds right now. Well, I was up over 40% on the year trading and up over 140% in the last 6 months or so, since August of last year. up 140% on the trading bag, dumped it all back into XRP, and I just hit a new milestone on my XRP bag. So, no, we didn't get wrecked. No, I know some of the trolls, I know some of the haters wish that we would get wrecked. They were mad. I have people saying that it's like I'm part of the greed because I'm shorting Bitcoin. It's like, what's immoral about betting that a asset is going to go down in price? If your asset's so great, if the fundamentals are going to take it higher, then my little short shouldn't matter. I should get wrecked. There's nothing wrong with betting that an asset is going to go down. I see Brad's divorce in 2020. He has 3 kids. See, now we're deep diving Brad Goinghouse's divorce, man. It's crazy. It's crazy out here. I love you, Jemmy. Thank you. Should I buy XRP or XLM? I can't give you financial advice. What video are you guys talking about, man? Now I'm like curious. Did you post a video, Dark Horse?
I have this friend.
Did you post a video of it? Dark Horse likes to look at little FUD videos. I don't see it. Love you guys. It was satire from XRPP. That I could see that. I saw his tweet that he put out today. That account's so funny. Then people end up running with it. What's up with Mexico joining BRICS? I haven't seen that news. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, all these other countries, I don't blame them for getting away from the United States and the US dollar. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up this session. I appreciate everyone for tuning in here tonight. Okay, you can head on over to my website, zachrector.com. You can get your crypto, get your wallet, get your precious metals, roll over your 401k retirement account savings, 2 precious metals, and then you can get tapped in by joining the Patreon, get access to the Discord group, and we would love to have you in the family, okay? I appreciate all of you guys. Let's make sure we smash that thumbs up on the way out, and I will see you guys tomorrow, okay? We're going to absolutely stay over target. So much happening, so much to break down. We're going to have some more content for you guys tomorrow, okay? God bless you all. Take care. Hold up. I almost forgot. Brady, 5 spot. Quant has been fairly quiet. What role would they play in all this? Quant, yeah, that interoperability is what Quant's really addressing. And I'm just waiting to see who's actually going to be acquiring Quant as far as banks, institutions that are actually partnered up in accumulating Quant on their balance sheet. I've seen Quant sitting at some important tables. They're sitting in some rooms that matter, and that's good. But I want to see a little bit more from Quant, and I am just waiting patiently to buy some Quant at lower prices. It's just too high for me right now. You know, and I may end up missing Quant. I missed it last bull run. I may miss Quant again. That's fine. XR Peaky Blinder, when you come corrector, you won't get rector. Appreciate you for the super chat there. Thanks, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, Quant is solid utility for sure. Okay. Okay. All right. You guys take care out there. Thank you so much.